All right. Welcome back to the Forest Brothers podcast. It's your boy Mutsa Chris Don back in the cut, joined by my two brothers, Nkosi and Samson. What's good, brothers? So, listener, in this particular episode, we'll be having our first Spurs clinic of the season because there'll be more. I'm sure there'll be more. So, this episode is long overdue. Spurs have had a very interesting season, to say the least, given that Thomas Frank has been our coach from the beginning. This past weekend, we actually lost 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. And I have a lot to say about that game in particular. There are two people that I'd like to have a very strong conversation with. And the one person that I have to shake out and choke if I could is that brother Vicario at the back there, because I don't know whether he was dropped as a baby. I don't know whether he was, kept behind in school. I don't know whether some cells are missing. I don't know if I don't know, because some of the decisions that brother makes, I think about. I'm going to talk about this game, but I think a lot about that Fulham game when he runs out of his post, and instead of just kicking the ball out, clearing the ball. I don't know if he has an issue clearing the ball, because all the issues we have are from him not clearing the ball. Like, he wants to do some immaculate play from the back, and we do not have the facilities to play from the back. And I don't know why Frank keeps telling them play from the back or try build up from the back, because we clearly cannot hang. We don't have it. So anyway, that Fulham game where he ends up far, far away from his post, instead of clearing out into the stands or whatever, Fulham get the ball and Wilson just has to shoot it at an open goal and boom. And then this weekend, we saw something similar with Hudson-Odoi, Vicario, and Gray. Vicario gets the ball, he passes it to Gray. Gray is weak, he loses the ball, boom, it's in. We're at a corner. And I'm like, okay, corners are easy to defend. Ball's coming in, Vicario, I don't know what he's doing, and he fluffs it. Like a very easy save to make. And I think even Hudson-Odoi scored a long range shot as well against Vicario. So it's just a lot of decision making at the Spurs backline, which I don't get. A lot of the goals that we concede, even when we concede it to Arsenal, some of those goals are literally like very avoidable, especially at home. Spurs goals at home are always avoidable and never needed. It's always an individual mistake. It's never like the other team has done something spectacular. It's always like Spurs are doing decently, and they just make some stupid decision, and it's a goal. And then it just it's honestly frustrating as a fan. And in January, all I need is for us to get a better keeper. That's all I need. Just somebody else. And I don't know who's on the market right now, but anything is better than this. Anything is better than this, because this brother back there is just. I can't actually name a game that I can say he had a fantastic game. Like, he does some saves here and there, but this season in particular, it's been absolutely dreadful. It's been abysmal. So, and yeah, all the kids that we're playing with, like, I can't blame the kids too much, because they're still learning and stuff. So I'm not gonna judge them too much. Being put into some of these positions that they're put in and the decisions that they're making is part of the game. That's how you learn. It's fine. But Vicario, if we're under pressure, my brother, just boot it up. Just boot it as far as you can. Even release it for a corner, even though you're terrible at corners. Okay, maybe don't do the corner thing, but release it as far as you possibly can. Boot it, just please. So yeah, I think that's enough of my rant when it comes to the brothers. I think if we just weed out Vicario, weed out Danzo, weed out who was back there? Even Udogi he's been very questionable this season so far. He hasn't actually had that much playing time, but anytime he's come on, it's not been great. So I think Frank has a lot of work to do. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. The project is still. We have a lot of good moments. Don't get me wrong, because I know the reason why I'm in the Spurs clinics because of this past weekend, but we've actually won a few games. We won in the Champions League. We won our game. We drew against Brentford. We managed to draw against Newcastle. So there've been sparks of brilliance here and there. There've been actual fight. It's been it's been there. There've been moments, Mungor. There've been moments. There've been moments. We've been brilliant this season. Where the project looks fully back on, but it all gets overshadowed by the decision making of a few brothers who then weigh us all the way down. So anyway, let me actually just throw it to you, Mungor. Since you don't think we've been brilliant or shown signs of brilliance throughout the season.
Thomas the Frank engine, choo choo blood, as I've heard people say the last couple of days. I think the wheels are definitely coming off on that particular train. There's a reason why he was at Brentford for all those years he was at Brentford, and these are the results. Some managers are good managers for managing teams like Brentford. There's a reason why Chelsea, Man United, and so forth passed up on him every time he was linked with a big job. This is the result. You took the bet on him. This is what happens. When I get to Vicario, I told you, and I'll tell you again, there was a reason why he played for Empoli. There was a reason why he was at Cagliari for a long time. At 26 years old, you shouldn't be signing a keeper from Empoli. He's 26. Why wasn't he signed when he was 23? If you sign a 26 from AC Milan, Inter, Roma, I'd be like, okay, fine, you signed a good keeper. You signed him from Empoli for 20 million. There's a reason why he was 20 million. Empoli were like, wow, what a great deal. What Spurs are suffering with Vicario is what I call the Edward Mendy effect. Like one season he fools you guys to believing that he's the second coming of Lloris or one of your past keepers, Friedel and the likes. And then now he's regressing to the mean. Because we've seen him, like, he's just not good enough. Like, I don't know why he would do some of the things that he's been doing this season. As you mentioned, the Fulham game, and then this past weekend against Forest. And it's very interesting that you lost 3-0 to a team that was coached by Ange. With predominantly the same players.
What
And all
actually
of
hurts
us,
more? What hurts more about Forest as well is how they did us in the transfer window too, like with the Gibbs
oh,
White
Gibbs White. Oh,
situation.
yeah, yeah.
For me, that's what sucked the most. I'm like, not these guys, not this team. So anyway,
And then you look at just I think the other one where you should be very concerned is the goal. I think wasn't even a shot. The second goal, Hudson-Odoi was crossing that, and it went in. Like y'all should be very concerned. Like badly. And then you look at a few other things I do want to mention. Um, the other players, my God, Spurs. When I said at the beginning of the season that Spurs and United, if they finish in the top 10, would have been an excellent season for them. Now that's looking like uh, a great prediction because the way y'all are playing currently, you're sitting, and I always mention, and I mention it every weekend. It's like you're so glued to this position. You're sitting currently on number one. You are on number one, Muta. I don't know if you understand that. You're sitting number one on page 2 of the league table. And no one can take that away from you. You were literally in first place. Like, no one can take that away from you. But the players, my God, like some of them, like you literally have saved us, Chelsea, and you saved the league, like from taking them off our hands. Like Xavi Simons, oh my God. It's like Florent Wirtz's older brother. Like the way they're putting up zero stats, like it's just terrible. Like Xavi
hey,
is
he's not putting up zero
horrible.
stats anymore. Hey, he scored a goal and 2 assists. Don't get it twisted in the Champions League.
In the Champions League, yes. What has he done in the league? You've won. You mentioned Newcastle and I think another game there where you both drew. But why are you painting a positive picture where it's not a positive picture? You've won 1 in 6. One game one game out of six. You've won one. Like, that's a fact. And it's just very sad for me to see like some players like I know Gary Neville says like for some managers going to United is like it's the graveyard for managers. I feel like Spurs low key could be the graveyard for some players. Uh James Madison, where is he today? He's
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 injured.
more he's more concerned about being a pundit rather than being on the field.
He's
Uh
injured.
Randall Colomuani, France's starting striker at the 2022 World Cup final. Where is he today? You're playing him on the left wing. Looks a shadow of his former self.
Also,
Mohamed
no, by
Kudus.
Mongoro, you're trying to paint a negative picture here because Moani was actually not doing well at PSG either. We took him from PSG when he was already on the brink. So let's not pretend as if
He
we
wasn't
took
on
up
the
a
brink.
high
Juve
performing.
were ready to take him back on permanent basis. Then
Yeah,
y'all
but it's not like
swooped
he was
in.
cooking.
No, he was cooking at Juve. That's why Juve wanted him back.
No, but he wasn't even like he was injured because even he didn't even start right away for us, right? It's not like he
Yeah,
just hit the ground running.
because y'all just signed him when like after preseason had ended. Of course, he was not going to be fit. It's the same situation with Isak. Like you look at Isak. Isak is not struggling because he's horrible. Struggling because he didn't have a proper preseason with the same group of players. We look at Moani. Like
Well,
Kudus.
he did score 2 goals against PSG.
Yeah, he did. But like, what else has he done?
He's getting there. Don't worry about him.
So I don't know why you keep on defending these people. Like you should be throwing them under the bus. Kudus is another one you've killed. Like West Ham's talisman, the Ghanaian superstar. He doesn't even look like himself. 3.8 rating this past weekend. Like to me, when I look at the squad and I look at where y'all can go, like who you signed, you mentioned Dancer. I was very surprised y'all put in Dancer. Like he was part of uh the worst, if I'm not wrong, the worst Southampton team to go down, I think, like a couple of seasons back. And then y'all signed him. Like, you had so much faith that this man who led the worst defense in Premier League history, you wanted to upgrade him and take him to Spurs. So, all in all, I don't want to talk about Kinski because that's the new next best alternative when it comes to the sticks. And someone who knows the sticks very well, like that guy Kinski, I saw him after one game and I knew that he should have stayed there. I don't know, like, what is it with you people and these cheap keepers that no one has heard of? Because where did he came from Slavia Prague for what, 10 million? When you put him
I don't even
on,
know.
when you put him on, and you now see how he performs, there's a reason why he plays for Slavia Prague and you only pay 10 million for him. Like some of these things y'all be doing, my goodness. My goodness. Paulinho, quality midfielder from Bayern. You have now turned into some mediocre talent. So you truly I think we can now start labeling Spurs as the graveyard of players because name a player for you, Mota, that has gone to Spurs from a different club and improved. Because Solanke, where is Solanke today? Richarlison was a
So
talisman at Everton. Where is he today?
Richarlison has actually had a pretty good season so far. Let's not act
Uh
as if he hasn't.
Matthias Tell from Bayern Munich. At
He
like
wasn't doing
17,
good. He was not
at
doing good at Bayern.
17, this guy was being touted as like the next best German striker. Where is he today? Sitting on your bench.
Okay, what about Mickey Van de Ven?
There could be an exception. Okay, yeah, you can put up Van der Ven. You can put him
Romero?
up. Yeah,
Romero?
Romero is kind of hit or miss. He does get
He's
too
not
many
hit or
red
miss.
cards.
You
He
know,
does
he
get too
doesn't
many
even get
red
that many
cards,
red cards.
and
He
he
doesn't get that
does
many red
do some
cards.
very strange things when it comes to defending. Maybe it's
As
because
a
I only
Chelsea
watched him
person, you
against
shouldn't talk to
Chelsea.
him about red cards. As a Chelsea man, you shouldn't talk to him about red cards.
Oh, the one season where we get a lot of red cards now, all
Don't
of a
don't
sudden
don't,
it's a
don't talk to
problem.
me. How many red cards has Fofana gotten?
Zero.
This isn't alone. Stop it.
Zero.
Anyway, as a Chelsea
So
man, as a Chelsea
So
man,
I'm just telling you, like you like if you take Solanke and you put him back in that Bournemouth team, him and Semenyo would be commanding at least 100 million now each. Bissouma was the original Moises Caicedo. Where is he today? Where is he today? You're the graveyard there. You are the graveyard. Uh Udogi, my goodness. Like I knew Udogi was finished when he went on his backside and Eza scored his hat trick goal. That's when I knew his career was finished that day. I was like, this guy's not good enough. So for me, when I look at Spurs, like, y'all, I can definitely label you as the graveyard of players, like for the most part. And low key, I'd also maybe put in managers as well, because look at Ange. After he left y'all, he went to Forest. Like he was messed up. Like y'all finished. Y'all had finished him at that point. Like I don't know why he was trying to salvage that Forest, but he was done at that point. So for me personally, when I look at Spurs and I just think about where y'all are headed next, be in the top 10. That should be the objective. And then maybe get to the Champions League playoff rounds. Because it's not going anywhere. Like you said Daniel Levy was a problem. He's gone now. Who are you blaming now?
Well, again, some of these conversations might end up being a bit premeditated, like not premeditated, but a bit premature,
Premature.
because again, it's only been whatever. I think we're halfway up part of the like we're almost at the halfway mark of the season, right? We just finished game week. I believe it's game week 18, if I'm not mistaken. So
16,
16 actually.
16, 16.
He's just match week 16. So we're just about we're not even halfway yet. We're close. We're close to halfway, but we're not even halfway yet, right? So for
Yes.
me, it's like okay, it's only been 16 games. Match notes in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Levy just left at the start of the season. Time. All we need is time to figure it out. We're not right now you can say yes, we're first on the second page of the league, but if we win 2 games, that shoots us up into top 6, top 8. So it's not really like the degree of separation is not that far. It's not like we're 10 points away or like 7 points away. It's literally 2 points.
Uh-huh.
So again, all we need just Thomas Frank is figuring things out. Also like the amount of games we're playing. Like Premier League, we're dealing with international breaks, we're dealing with the Champions League. He's Thomas Frank has never played in the Champions League before. All these things. So for me, I'm still a little bit more patient. This is definitely way better than what Ange was giving us. But yes, Spurs still has a long way to go. It takes time to heal from cancer, and Daniel Levy was a cancer. It takes time. It takes time.
But I'll ask you this one question. Are the signs there that you could win your next games? Like,
The
are the
signs are
signs
there.
there?
The signs are
Wait,
there that we
wait.
can win the
How are
Premier
the
League.
signs? Okay, I'll give you 2 scenarios. One, you've won 1 in 6 in the Premier League. 1 in 6. 1 win in 6. And you're telling me that you are going to put together a run and win game. You literally just lost to Nottingham Forest 3-0. Those are positive signs that the next games against Liverpool, Palace, Brentford, Sunderland, who literally just beat Newcastle, Bournemouth, you're gonna do serious damage.
Listen, man, I'm always gonna back my boys. On our day, we'll cook anyone. On our day, we can absolutely cook anybody. So I'm not scared. And I believe that we have the potential and ability to even win the Premier League this season. We have it. So I fully back my boys to get it done. And I fully back Thomas Frank to get it done. It's just that there are going to be a couple of hiccups on the way and a couple of things that need to get taken care of, such as finding a new goalkeeper and finding a new few defenders and finding another creative midfielder. Just the little things here and there, here and there, here and there, a little improvements here and there. But we have the potential. It's there.
Okay, I've said my piece. Honestly, I'm happy for where it's headed. It's going to be a train smash. Uh, at least expressions oozing will keep us entertained with all these crash outs. So as much as y'all keep on taking these L's, go right ahead. I don't know, Samson. As his North London neighbor, maybe you should be providing some words of encouragement or helping him out. He is your Spurs are the little brother of Arsenal, after all.
Yeah, lately, the North London air has been smelling a little bit like there's something in the air, man. It's been stinky around here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I honestly I don't know where to start. This brother said he might win the league. But before I okay. You threw me off everything, man. I had the whole thing, and then you say you're gonna win the league. Um, okay, so I actually think Mutsa has a bit of a point when he says time is important because yes, all those things are true. This is a new manager, it's a new regime. You did get rid of a cancer of a director. Um, you did sign a whole bunch of players. The squad is still relatively young. That's true. And yeah, it's a new era. So yeah, patience is key. But at the same time, though, these players did cost quite a bit of money. Like this was quite a lot. I believe Simmons cost more than Eze, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
That's money, man. That's racks. So we would want to see something. You
And we
know,
have
um,
seen something.
and the issue is, you're sitting in 11th. And it is tight there in the middle. I give you that. A win could take you to 7th. Fair. And I actually do think Spurs, if they can stay fit, and if you get knocked out of the Champions League and FA Cup early, which you should be aiming to do.
Aiming,
Or
Samson,
actually,
aiming is
actually,
mad
no, what? Maybe
business.
not. Maybe not. But yeah,
It's
you should
mad
try get.
business.
You should try get out of the Champions League. You have
No,
no
we're
business
not.
being
We're
there.
gonna win the Champions League too.
You should try get out of the FA
But we're
Cup.
gonna win it.
You might have a shot with the FA Cup. You're absolutely wasting your time with Champions League. You should try to get out as soon as possible. Because the amount of games that you're gonna have to play in the second half of the season, it's gonna be 17th all over again. Because that's what happened last season. Your team, if we look on paper, was not really gonna finish 17th with all the extra games. If you had more time to prepare, if you're a 1 game a week team like United this season, you would have maybe finished like 10th, like ninth, 8th, right? You would have had more time, less injuries. But the injuries, the new players, the new coach, the new systems, it's too much, man. And I can honestly see this sliding even further. I thought you guys would be somewhere in the top half, but I think, yeah, 15th is a real possibility, man. Because do you know who's 15th right now? I believe it's
It's
Newcastle.
Brentford.
Brentford?
Yeah.
Oh, Newcastle moved up. Okay. But yeah, it's all these teams are not that far from you. Like maybe Brentford is beneath you, like in terms of quality, but we've seen you against Fulham, we've seen you against Bournemouth, we've seen you against Newcastle. All those teams are either on your level or better than you. So this is looking bleak, looking just going forward. And just based on the games you've played and how you've performed in them, huge improvements are needed. And I think the issue, for me anyways, is that I don't think the squad is ready for that major leap. And this is why I think this season should be about damage control. Try to control what you can, get rid of Vicario as soon as possible, or just get another keeper in as soon as possible. Just try and minimize the goals you're conceding, the mistakes as much as possible. Play simple football. Because when I look at the stats, the surface level stats, goals scored, goals conceded, Spurs are actually not that bad. I think by goal difference, you guys would be like 7th, 8th, which kind of tracks. By goals conceded, goals scored, you'd be around the same position. It's just that with players like Vicario in your team, with players like Danso in your team, with young players like Gray, with hot heads like Romero, with inconsistent players like Poro and Udogi, with with social media gurus like Spence, with helium huffers like Bisuma. Like, there's so many things going against you right now. So many things. I mean, the list is endless. And I feel like it's just, I don't know how people expect Thomas Frank to thrive in this situation, because it's too many uncontrollable variables just on the pitch for him to do anything with. So I think the easiest step is just get a keeper in, and hopefully that brings some stability, because I think that's the kind of stuff Thomas Frank thrives on. He thrives on players being a little intelligent on the pitch. Because if you look at his past teams, he's had leaders in different parts of the pitch. A leader in defense, a leader in midfield, a leader in attack. At Brentford, I'll give you an example. He had Mbuemo up top or on the wing. He had Norgard in midfield. He had what's the guy's? I think his name is Pinnock. Yeah, I think Pinnock at the back. Very good at organizing the back. Norgard very good at organizing the midfield. Mbuemo, a strong individual performer. Like, he knows who he can rely on, basically. There's no one he can rely on here. Maybe Van der Ven. Maybe. But there's no one else he can rely on. And that's the issue. So if that's your situation, Thomas Frank is probably thinking to himself, I just need to concede less goals, which I think he has done. I think conceding 21 goals at this stage for Spurs with this team is an actual achievement. I think he should get a lot more credit for that. The only issue is you need to turn those goals conceded into wins and draws. And you can't do that with people like Vicario on the pitch. It's going to be very difficult.
It is.
So I need you and the Spurs fan base and the Spurs players to just take a moment and just have a rethink about this season. Focus on what's important, all right? That FA Cup run, that's going to be very important. Champions League, forget about that. I think Thomas Frank should even play children, like the remaining games. Just play kids, get knocked out easy. You had a nice run, you had some nice wins, but let's leave that alone. We don't need that right now. We don't need that pressure. Let's just go and focus on fundamentals. Keeping clean sheets or keeping the scoreline low as possible. And because at least that will put less pressure on people like Simmons, Kudus, Kolomwani to actually score. Because we know those brothers that's another thing. Going forward, you guys have to rely on Richarlison, which is wild, if you think about it. He's your most consistent forward.
Well, Solanke's back. Solanke posted that I think he's back to fitness, or he's almost back to fitness. So
he posted? What are we doing here? He hasn't played. He posted.
No, but he's posted isn't like there's not evidence that he's now like on the pitch. He's getting, he's back. He's coming back from injury. You also have to understand Spurs is dealing with a lot of injuries. If we had our guys who'd be in a much better place, we don't have. Yes, we are, but again, our injuries are a lot more than other teams. Like in terms of like impact, because we don't have Madison, we don't have Solanke, we don't have Kulusevski. These are all Spurs impact players, right? So I think that's playing a major role in the fact that we have no creativity. Simmons has to do kind of everything by himself, and Kolomwani is still trying to get to full fitness, all these things. So I think as time moves forward, you're going to see when we get our guys back. Well, we're not going to get Madison back for a while, but Kulusevski and Solanke, when they come back, things will start to make a bit more sense.
Again, the attack doesn't have to be amazing, because if you look, Brentford played Manchester United today. Bournemouth played Manchester United today. Bournemouth's attack isn't impressive. It's Semenyo and some guys. You guys could be Kudus and some guys, or Kolomwani and some guys. That is good enough. The difference between Brentford and you, even though Brentford drank 4 goals today, the difference is they actually know how to defend. And sometimes their keeper isn't giving the game away. Today, their keeper gave the game away. But most of the time, they defend well and they keep the score lines low. That's it. If you can change conceding 3 to Nottingham Forest to 1 or 2 and just play on the counter attack, I promise you, you will finish in the top 8. And that would be a successful season. And Thomas Frank will go on to have a respectable career at Spurs, because that is really all you can hope for. No one's had a great career at Spurs since Pochettino. So let's start small, baby steps, all right? 8th place, a good cup run, players not unhappy, players not huffing helium in their time off, because that's where we're at Spurs. Man are so depressed they're huffing helium. Like, we really have to talk about, like, what is he doing? What's Bissouma doing?
Anyway, he got let go. Like, he's not a Spurs anymore. He's not a Spurs player anymore.
He's not a Spurs player?
No. Bissouma left. No, Bissouma is in Turkey or something. So he's not on our roster.
Are you serious?
Gone. Yeah, Bissouma left.
No, but he was there during before the transfer. He was,
but then him and Frank saw that the foolishness that he is and decided to kick him out. So he's gone. Bissouma was like one of the last few transfers that happened when the transfer window was closing. He's not at Spurs.
Oh my days, I did not know this. I thought he was still there.
No, he's not. Bissouma is not our player anymore. So, yes.
We missed those days.
Well,
we certainly missed those days. Then the real question becomes, sorry, Samson, just to jump in there. The real question then becomes to you, Mutsa, and maybe to you, Samson. Did Morgan Gibbs-White and Eberechi Eze, did they dodge a bullet?
Listen, we already answered this question partly before. But the second part of that question is a lot more difficult. Because I firmly believe Morgan Gibbs-White was held at belly point by his chairman. I don't think he signed that contract willingly. I literally think that man put his belly on his chest, pushed him against the wall and told him to sign or else. And he signed. I don't think you can blame him for that, because honestly, if you really think about it, I still think Spurs is a better proposition than Nottingham Forest overall, because he does have to play Daesh ball now, and Daesh ball, as much as it gets results, its ceiling is like 10th place. That's just what it is. No one's ever. I can't remember a Daesh team that ever touched 8th place in my life. I've never seen it before. So maybe things are different now, but I think Morgan Gibbs-White was held hostage.
But to answer your question, Mangoro, they did not dodge a bullet. They should have come. If they came, we're cruising. The path that Spurs is on right now is a path of greatness. Right now, we're just figuring out a few bumps on the road. When we're flying the plane, there's a bit of turbulence, but we're gonna get to our destination and we're gonna land safely. So, Thomas Frank at the helm. I think definitely Gibbs-White should have come, but there was nothing you could have done. There was nothing, he was, his life and his family's life was on the line. So we understand. Eze is just, a piece of whatever. He could have also been having a great time at Spurs. He could also have been having an amazing, because again, we see most of the time at Arsenal, it's not like he's doing anything. He keeps getting hooked off games. If Eze was at Spurs, he would never get hooked off. He'll play every game 90 minutes. The star man. He already have a statue. But at Arsenal, he's getting treated like another piece of crap, which he is anyway. So anyway, I'm just saying, he could have been having a good time at Spurs, but he chose to go to Arsenal, and where he's just treated as a commoner. So that's on him. And he's going to regret the decision for the rest of his life. So I'm not losing any sleep over no Eze. He's...
Follow up real quick. Is Thomas the choo-choo train Frank the right man for the job? Is a question we should be asking at this point, because the media has been asking it the last couple of weeks. And is he the man? Could this potentially turn into another Ange situation where by April you're calling for his head?
You see, Yeah, maybe I'll come to Samson with this one. Maybe he has a different interpretation, but I do believe in I have my trust in Frank. I have not felt like, okay, this guy is way in of his head. Like I said, I think once we get rid of some of the bad eggs that we have, namely Vicario, like, and we actually have a decent goalkeeper. Yes. Are we playing some boring football right now? Yes. I can fully say that. But I think we're also starting to see a bit more of an exciting Spurs. I think it's coming. Something like we see signs of it. I still want to give Thomas Frank the season, and then I'll start judging him after at the beginning of next season, seeing how he does. Like another transfer window, especially without a certain brother, a certain bold brother who held us hostage for decades. Without him anymore around to influence decisions, and Frank can get the players he wants to get, and we put up because I know I read a report somewhere. I don't know the validity of how true it is, but I was seeing that Spurs are willing to break their wage barrier to bring in Semenyo. Like they're willing to do something like that to snake Semenya away from, because I know Semenya has some interest from Liverpool, United. I'm hearing that Spurs is willing to break the wage gap that they have to sign us as just to attract Semenya to come to Spurs. So these things have never happened with that other brother, if you're still present. These considerations will not be even a thing. So if the fact that now we can start going after star players and actually throw money at them, I'd like to see how that goes in the summer window in 2026, and then see if we can actually get some star players. And then, I can then start judging Frank. Like, okay, you had the full season. We won the Premier League. Now can we win the treble? In 2026, 2027 season. Can win the trouble. Now we'll just have to see. So anyway, yes, I believe in Frank. Samson, what do you think? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
real quick. Oh, sorry. I think I potentially, I could see a treble in 2026, 2027. The EFL Championship, the Johnston Paint Trophy Cup, and the Audi Cup. That would qualify as a treble, would it not?
sometimes you just gotta take what you can, Mongoro.
Hey, or maybe he's counting youth trophies. Youth team could win it all. Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League, but youth level.
Hey, but that'll be our future, Samson. Youth level winning trophies, man. Great
I
sign.
mean, talk to Nkosi about that one, see how it turns out. But anyways, look.
But you do get rid of your youth players most of the time. Name a youth player in the first team, zero. One is literally at Spurs there too, at Arsenal currently. Like he's been through like the top 3 London clubs. Like, can you even name him?
He has no idea what you're talking about.
I thought maybe you were talking about Eze, but no, it's not Eze. So
Madueke. Like you wouldn't even have thought of Madueke. Like he's your protege, but don't even know that.
I did not know that. I have to think about who our Spurs youngsters are. I think Gray, Gray came from Leeds, I think.
You don't have, the only one was the goalkeeper that you've discarded. The Brandon Austin. That's the only academy player you had, and
the
you believed Kinski was better.
And the Irish player who scored in the
Parrots.
Troy Parrott, he scored the winning goal to send Ireland into the playoffs for the World Cup qualification. But you don't even know who that is. You have no idea what the hell that is. Look, I still think Frank is the right man for the job, because we have to remember this team finished 17th. Okay, 17th. This team last season, the entire of last season, had 6 wins at home. In 2025, as we speak, Tottenham Hotspur has won 5 games at home. I think 2 of those have come this season. So anything, like currently as we speak, this is progress. This is better than what it was. And what's going to determine, I think the better time to judge Mr. Frank is going to be at the end of the season, because I honestly don't think Spurs are going to do much, and that's fine. I just don't think it's acceptable for a team that spends over 150 million in the summer transfer window to be finishing 15th or 17th. That's unacceptable. If he's loitering down there, fine, let him go. But if he's in the top 10, I think he's doing a fantastic job, because that is progress. That is taking a team that was losing games just to lose games. They were giving games away. Remember, Leicester went down with, I don't even know if they made 30 points. They handed them an away victory, just gave it to them. Like, I don't think Thomas the Tank Engine is doing that this season. I don't think he's giving away wins. The losses he's incurred are really out of his control. He can't control Vicario. He can't get in his head and figure out why he's giving the ball away. He doesn't know. So I say, let's give the man some time. I think he might be the answer, but I think we'll only know at the end of the season once we see his performances through a whole 38-game season.
And you have to remember, Ferguson had a very bad season his first season at United.
Come on, man.
And then look at what he did.
Come on,
so,
man.
Trust the process. We are witnessing the rebirth of an Alex Ferguson era at Spurs. 10 years from now, you guys are going to be talking about, damn, Spurs has 6 Champions League trophies, 4 Premier League trophies. And I'm like, guys, remember how we started? Look at where we are now. Obviously, I'll have like teeth of gold. I'd have a fully bust out rollie. All these things, just from celebrating Spurs winning all these trophies and all the money that I put on it. So it's gonna come good.
You said 10 years. I say in 10 months, Frank won't be in a job. And I'd preface that by Samson mentioned something very critical, and Mutu, you'd also highlighted it. When I look at the Premier League table, you're looking up, but there is the true reality that you were closer to Brentford in 15th than you are to United, or I think the team in 7th. That's where you at currently. Like, you're looking more downwards rather than up. So that's something you should be aware of. But then, which begs the question that I want to just follow up to Samson, what you just mentioned there about Thomas, the choo-choo train being the answer, is are you speaking as an Arsenal fan, or are you actually being genuine that he is the man? Because I could sense that you believe in him because what you're seeing from your crosstown rivals is a perfect scenario, or you really deep down think that this man, the throw-in specialist, could do something at the lane.
Listen, I think any manager, because again, the manager they had before, I wanted that guy to stay more than anything, man. Let me tell you. I really liked that guy. I thought he was perfect, but hey, they let him go. Thomas the Tank, though, I think he is good. I think, his focus on set pieces, his focus on, doing the fundamentals right, changing a system to reduce the threat from a particular opponent. I think those are things that will be rewarded with time, because I think those things tell me that he's a coach who thinks about, what can I do to try win the next game? What are the resources I have at my disposal to win the next game? He doesn't just go to his tactics board and dream up, tactics and patterns of play and say, you know what, if you guys can't play this way, then you guys are garbage. And, we shouldn't even bother playing. Because that was the old manager. And I liked him a lot. But that was his style. Like, hey, if you guys can't play these short passes and be intricate and do this, we're not going to play. I can't coach this way. And he had his way. And his way was 17th. This other guy, I respect a little bit more, because I can see that when the time comes, he will sacrifice whatever he has to sacrifice just for a draw. And in my opinion, that is something I can respect from a manager. A manager who tries anything in their power to win points. And I think that will serve Tottenham well moving forward. Even if
We'll be
it's
fine.
hurting them now.
We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Especially when you see us beat Arsenal next year, like in the second leg, second half, and when we beat Chelsea, get our revenge. You guys, I'll bring it up and say, look where we are now. The first half of the season, we're just figuring ourselves out. Second half of the season, we're flying. We're on a 10-game unbeaten streak. We're cooking. We're in the top 4. It's looking fantastic. We're in the semifinals of the Champions League. You guys will hear from me. So trust that it's coming.
Top 4 on page 2 of the league is also a thing, right? So
It won't be our story. We'll be in the top 4 of the top page. Top 4. Fourth, most likely the Premier League. Ready to get into the Champions League again. Even though it won't make a difference, this would have won the Champions League anyways. Anyway, but I digress.
What would you prefer? If Spurs go all the way and win the FA Cup, or if Spurs make it to top 4? What would be more valuable to you?
A trophy is always more valuable, Samson. I always take the FA Cup. I'll always take the trophy over position in the table. I'll always take the trophy.
Even if that means like another season of like 15th, 17th?
My guy, if we finish 15th and we win the Champions League, if we finish 15th and we win the FA Cup,
I mean, that's a little different.
If we win 15th and if we play, I don't care. The point of football is to win trophies. So,
18th and win Champions League.
Listen, we'll always come back into the Premier League. I'll take the champs. I'll take the Champions League. I would rather watch championship football knowing that we have the Champions League as well. I'll take it.
I generally think your club will go into administration if that happens. I don't think you know how hard it is to be in the championship and play another tough competition. Like you will literally go bankrupt. I'm not even joking. Like you will legitimately go bankrupt with the amount of games you have to play and the players you're putting out there. Because also the wages, paying those wages in the championship is nuts. Anyways, the amount of games, damn, those guys pay like what? I think 46 games, just the league plus the cups. Oh my days! You guys are, yeah, we'll be done, man. Be done.
Listen, but we'll be etched in history as Champions League winners. We'll hold our heads. We will hold our heads high. Anyways, I feel like we're at a natural conclusion of our Spurs clinic, unless if you brothers have any more powerful insight about what needs to happen in Spurs. But I think we've pretty much covered everything that needs to be covered here. So we'll just have to see what happens next, especially after the year ends and AFCON and all these wonderful things. So yeah, Spurs fortunately doesn't have too many African players. I know we're losing Kudus. He's gonna be gone. So
Are you?
Actually, are we? We're not. I don't think Ghana.
Yeah, I don't think they're in the thing.
Yeah, where's Semenyo from? Semenyo's leaving, isn't he?
No, he's also from Ghana. I don't think he's gone.
Oh,
But Semenyo's not a Spurs player. Like,
no, I'm just saying. I thought Semenyo was gonna leave Bournemouth, but I don't think it doesn't. I don't think I heard anything about him leaving for AFCON. So, yeah,
we don't want to offend our Bournemouth supporters. He's a Bournemouth player. He's not a Spurs player. Relax.
Yes, but I don't believe that Spurs are losing anyone due to AFCON. Sar, yeah, most likely Sar. Sar is somebody that might be losing, yeah. So we're not gonna be largely impacted as other teams are losing like 4 players to AFCON. We are not really. So anyway, we'll just see how things shake out in that regard. But I'll be here. If there anything else happens, I'll be the first one to always say like, yo man, we played like crap, or hey man, this guy sucks, or hey man, I'm a very honest Spurs player. I always give you the truth. So
Oh, you're
you
a
know,
player now? I think they need you at this point.
It's on the
Like,
team.
I play for my boys.
Any last minute predictions for the Liverpool Spurs game this weekend? And don't tell me what you want. Tell me what you think is gonna happen. Like, really, really think about it. Liverpool Spurs. What's gonna happen?
Spurs are winning 2-1 against Liverpool.
2-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that. You know, you guys are at home. That is low key kryptonite, but 2-1, fine. No more Salah, no Isak. Okay, fine.
Yeah. What are your predictions for that game?
I honestly think either a draw or they spank you 3-0 because someone does something stupid at the back. You guys don't lose small. You guys lose big, especially in games like this. You throw it away. I don't know what it is. You just, one bad thing happens and you're just like, whatever, fuck it, and everything just goes left. So either 0-0, 1-1, or 3-0 to Liverpool. That's what I think is going to happen.
Mangoro, you
I
think we're
think
gonna
for
get
me,
spanked?
this is going to be the game where Spurs actually introduce us to Florian Wirtz this coming weekend. He's going to have the game of his life starting this weekend. We will now learn more about who Florian Wirtz is when he plays Spurs. So I'd see a Liverpool win convincingly, scoreline wise. You like doing things in very high numbers, so between 3 and 5 goals, potentially see there. 2-0.
As in Spurs winning by 3 or 5 goals, right?
No. A Verts hat trick, and then just to rub in
Okay,
salt
that's
in the
crazy.
wounds, Salah and maybe Van Dijk.
But I don't ever think Salah's going to be there.
Oh yeah, Salah won't be there. So maybe Chiesa, he doesn't play as much, or
He's a hat trick.
but I'm leaning on this
See.
Verts hat trick. Like I feel something with Verts against Spurs this weekend. Like he could do something. So Verts at the wheel this weekend.
Versus the
Honestly,
wheel.
Simmons v. Wirtz, I think both those players are going to put in solid 8 out of 10 performances. Both are going to leave with a goal contribution. That's what I see.
I can take that.
Battle of
But
mid.
we're definitely winning that game 2-1. I don't fear Liverpool, and this is the best time to play Liverpool actually, when they're still where they're at. So I have no fear, and I know my boys will handle business. And I love being the underdog. I love being underestimated. I love Spurs being underestimated because that's when we shine. Actually, that's when we shine the most. So don't worry about us. We'll see what happens. And then obviously we'll get killed by Crystal Palace. But that's the name of the game. But anyway, with that, listener, we appreciate you hanging out with the First Brothers podcast, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.